What are the main features of JavaScript? Dynamic typing, object-oriented, first-class functions, event-driven, prototype-based inheritance. What is inheritance in JavaScript? Inheritance allows an object to use properties and methods of another object using prototypes. Difference between and checks for equality with type coercion. Checks for equality without type coercion. Strict equality. Use of this keyword. This refers to the object from which the function was called. What is a closure? A closure is a function that retains access to its lexical scope even when the function is executed outside that scope. What is a callback function? A callback function is a function passed into another function as an argument, to be invoked later. What is a promise? A promise is an object representing the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation. Difference between null and undefined. Null represents the intentional absence of any object value. Undefined indicates a variable has been declared but not yet assigned a value. What is an event loop? An event loop is a programming construct that waits for and dispatches events or messages in a program. What are arrow functions? Arrow functions provide a shorthand syntax for writing function expressions and do not have their own, thus, binding. What is hoisting? Hoisting is JavaScript's default behavior of moving declarations to the top of the current scope. What is a prototype? A prototype is an object from which other objects inherit properties and methods. Use of bind, call, and apply methods. Bind creates a new function with a specified this value and arguments. Call invokes a function with a specified this value and arguments. Apply similar to call, but arguments are provided as an array. What is an immediately invoked function expression? IIFE. A function that is executed immediately after its definition. What is AJAX? AJAX, Asynchronous JavaScript and XML, is a technique for creating fast and dynamic web pages by allowing web pages to be updated asynchronously by exchanging data with a web server. What is JSON? JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, is a lightweight data interchange format that is easy for humans to read and write, and easy for machines to parse and generate. What is event delegation? Event delegation is a technique involving event bubbling to handle events at a higher level in DOM rather than on individual nodes. What is DOM? The Document Object Model, DOM, is a programming interface for HTML and XML documents, representing the page so that programs can change the document structure, style, and content. Difference between for each and map. For each executes a provided function once for each array element without returning anything. Map executes a provided function once for each array element and returns a new array with the results. What is a JavaScript module? A JavaScript module is a file containing code that is isolated and can be imported or exported to Other modules. What is useStrict? useStrict is a directive that helps in writing secure JavaScript code by throwing errors for silent failures and disabling certain problematic features. What is a weak map? A weak map is a collection of key-value pairs where the keys are weakly referenced, meaning that they do not prevent garbage collection if there are no other references to the object. Difference between synchronous and asynchronous programming. Synchronous programming executes tasks sequentially, while asynchronous programming allows tasks to run concurrently, without blocking the execution of subsequent tasks. What are JavaScript promises? Promises are used to handle asynchronous operations in JavaScript, allowing you to attach callbacks for success or failure of an async task. What is the Fetch API? The Fetch API provides a modern, more powerful, and flexible way to make network requests compared to XML HTTP request. What is the event bubbling? Event bubbling is a type of event propagation where the event starts from the target element and propagates up to the ancestor elements. What is the event capturing? Event capturing is a type of event propagation where the event starts from the ancestor elements down to the target element. What is local storage? Local storage is a web storage object that stores data with no expiration date. Data is stored across browser sessions. What is session storage? Session storage is a web storage object that stores data for the duration of the page session. Data is lost when the page session ends. What is the difference between window and document objects? Window represents the browser window. Document represents the HTML document loaded in the window. What is a JavaScript framework? A JavaScript framework is a library that provides structure and reusable components to build web applications, e.g., Angular, React, Vue. What is the use of promise.all? Promise.all is a method that takes an array of promises and returns a single promise that resolves when all the promises in the array have resolved. What is a symbol in JavaScript? A symbol is a unique and immutable data type that can be used as a key for object properties. Introduced in ES6. What is the use of the spread operator? The spread operator allows an iterable, like an array, to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments or elements are expected. What is the use of the rest parameter? The rest parameter syntax allows us to represent an indefinite number of arguments as an array. What is a generator function? A generator function is a function that can pause and resume its execution, yielding multiple values over time, using the function asterisk syntax. What is the async await syntax? The async await syntax provides a way to write asynchronous code in a synchronous manner, making it easier to read and write. What is a proxy object? A proxy object is used to define custom behavior for fundamental operations, e.g., property lookup, assignment, enumeration, function invocation. What is the reflect API? The reflect API provides methods for interceptable JavaScript operations, similar to proxy handlers, but as static methods. What is the purpose of object assign? Object assign is used to copy the values of all enumerable own properties from one or more source objects to a target object. What is an iterator in JavaScript? An iterator is an object that defines a sequence and potentially a return value upon its termination, implementing the next method. What is the use of object freeze? Object freeze is used to freeze an object, preventing new properties from being added to it and existing properties from being removed or altered. What is a set in JavaScript? A set is a collection of unique values, where each value can occur only once. What is a weak set? A weak set is similar to a set, but it holds weakly referenced objects, meaning that if no other references to an object exist, it can be garbage collected. What is destructuring? Destructuring is a syntax that allows unpacking values from arrays or properties from objects into distinct variables. What is debouncing? Debouncing is a programming practice used to ensure that time-consuming tasks do not fire so often, reducing the rate at which the function is called. What is throttling? Throttling is a programming practice used to ensure that a function is called at most once in a specified time period. What is the purpose of the eval function? Eval evaluates or executes an argument as JavaScript code. However, its use is generally discouraged due to security and performance reasons. What are JavaScript promises? Promises represent the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation, providing a cleaner alternative to callbacks. Difference between var, let, and const. Var, function scoped, can be redeclared and updated. Let, block scoped, cannot be redeclared but can be updated. Const, block scoped, cannot be redeclared or updated.